We have some fantastic news, guys. Ilhan Omar has easily won her primary in Minnesota's 5th Congressional District. She defeated Antone Melton-Meaux earlier tonight. The vote came in really quickly, unlike with Rashida Tlaib's vote last week, and she has about a 20-point lead. She's in and around 60% right now. Not all of the vote is in, but multiple sources have called it, and it's a fantastic victory for Ilhan Omar. And that means that all 4 members of the squad are going back to Congress in 2020. Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and AOC all won their primaries comfortably. Ayanna Pressley didn't face a primary, and they're all in extremely blue districts. All 4 members are going back to Congress for another 2 years at least. And this one I think is especially sweet. 3-4 months ago, everyone assumed, again, I noted this in the Tlaib video last week, that Rashida was the one at risk, that she barely won 2 years ago, that she was facing a split field last time versus a united neoliberal front this time, that she was at real risk, and it turned out to not be close at all. And then a lot of people were saying in the last few weeks, actually, because Ilhan Omar has been the target of so much vitriol from neoliberal Democrats and from Donald Trump himself and from Republicans and from right-wing online media, and because big money donors, including millions of Republican dollars, were flooding to her primary challenger in her district, and because a lot of people have focused on her because she's been critical of Israel's policies with regards to Palestine, that she was at real risk. And it just didn't turn out to be the case because, again, like with Rashida Tlaib and like with AOC, these national narratives about them being dangerous and being too, left-wing and about not caring about their local constituents, those views are not shared by their local constituents. At the district level, the people these women represent like them. They know that these women are working hard for them as representatives, but also in fighting for these broad national issues, the people of their district realize that they're fighting for local issues. When AOC, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, these types go to Washington to fight for Medicare for All and a Green New Deal, that's not them ignoring local politics. That's them ensuring that their diverse working class communities in their districts have a better future, them and their children. That's what the people on the ground recognize. And to have them all back to Congress, all comfortably, all easily winning on their election nights, shows that they are here to stay. They didn't scrape by. They didn't edge by. Now, you're going to perhaps see less of an effort to unseat these women. They might have demonstrated to the neoliberal establishment, to big anti-left donors within and beyond the Democratic Party, that they are going to be very hard to unseat, and it might not be worth spending the money and resources to do so. There's no point if you're going to lose anyway. You might as well spend that money defeating more progressive primary challengers rather than incumbents. And with these women locking in their beachheads, this is where the squad can really start to grow. Because we saw some additions this year. Not all of the races went our way, went progressives' way. Of course, Bernie lost to Joe Biden, unfortunate as that was. Charles Booker didn't quite get over the line. Jessica Cisneros didn't quite get over the line. But Mondaire Jones did. But Cori Bush did. That's the biggest surprise of them all, really. And then you also had Jamaal Bowman. All in the last couple of months, these big challengers have unseated incumbents or have won seats for progressives that many people didn't think was possible 2 years ago, before AOC's shock victory over Joe Crowley. And now there's a stronger base than ever of progressives in the House of Representatives. And there's a greater understanding that there is a clear weakness in the corporate Democratic establishment when it comes to representing very blue districts with neoliberal hacks. Like, the reality is that even if you agree with the idea that You need moderate Democrats to win seats in rural, red states if you need them to win in suburban areas in some cases. Maybe that's true to a degree. I think it's oversold. But you certainly don't need those types in urban centers, especially in blue state urban centers. You don't need them. You need people like Cori Bush, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, AOC, Mondaire Jones, Jamaal Bowman, Mark Pokin, Pramila Jayapal. I can go on and on and on. You need those types to push the envelope of what is politically possible in America, to fight for their people in their communities and fight for working people everywhere across the country. And that's what you're seeing. And so my real hope is that AOC, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, they've locked in beachheads. They've shown that they are here to stay, winning primaries by 20, 30, sometimes more. That shows that they're locked in. And so the neoliberal establishment needs to be ready. And I hope these women are ready to take on that challenge and push and find other districts like theirs in every state, blue states, red states, in between, to put progressives in safe blue ridings and basically take those over from the corporate Democrats who think that they get to own those simply because they have a blue D next to their name. That's what Cori Bush did. She took a seat in a pretty conservative state, not deep red, but Missouri's not even really a purple state that much. And she took a blue district in an otherwise conservative part of the country and made it a progressive district. And I think that what Cori Bush said is clear and it's key. And I think she might be pushing the envelope more than the existing squad. So I hope she brings them along with her in saying that I'm like Harriet Tubman. I'm not just getting to Congress for myself and then saying, thank you so much. I'm going to play the game like Nancy Pelosi and Steny Hoyer and, Mitch McConnell and all these types. She says, no, I'm going back to communities like mine to put them in seats so we can get things done because incrementalism has failed. And that might not happen. But it could never have happened without Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and AOC winning their primaries and winning them handily. This is fantastic news. Forget Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. That's whatever. The biggest and best news of today is that Ilhan Omar is going back to Congress.